Kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Welcome to Porchlight Letters podcast number 2222. There's a lot of twos there. What is the significance of that number? 2222? 2222. Yeah, 4 of them. Tonight we're talking about the art of allowing. Today has been a very quiet day. It's Sunday, and Sunday I usually don't do any work, but being the last day of the month, there were some things that had to be done. Could I have done them yesterday? Probably. Why did I put off today? No clue. Don't have a clue for that. So we're talking about the art of allowing, and my notes are going crazy over here doing their own thing. So let's just put that there. So there's a quiet strength in learning to allow, to let life unfold without forcing, fixing, or rushing. Allowing doesn't mean giving up. It's an act of trust, of softening into the moment, of recognizing that sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is simply be. And today I didn't get up till 7. I slept until 7 o'clock this morning. And some of you going, 7 o'clock as an AM? Yes, 7 o'clock is AM. I normally get up at 5. So yes, and sometimes I wake up at 4:30 and then I'm up for the day. So yes, that is a very natural thing for me. 7 o'clock is a sleep-in. So I got up, had breakfast, and just sort of like moseyed around. I knew I had my to-do list for today. Like I had some bills that had to be paid today because it was the last day of the month. I had some invoicing I had to send out. I've got the newsletter that I'm working on that goes out tomorrow because tomorrow's Monday. So every Sunday I work on the Porchlight Letters newsletter. Get to cross that off. So there was just different things that had to be done today that I couldn't do tomorrow. So got all of that taken, but I didn't rush. About it. I just took my time. I just allowed myself to go with the flow and just did what I felt like. And surprisingly enough, I have not had a nap today. Usually on a Sunday, I have at least an hour-long nap. Sometimes it's a couple of hours, but I haven't had one today. Have I felt like it? Yeah, I did like around 9 o'clock this morning. I felt like going back to bed, but I got myself busy doing other things. I did some walking. I did some light exercises and things. And then just went and thought, okay, let me go get this done on the computer, and then I'll go take a nap. So I went and did whatever it was I had to do on the computer this morning. And then by the time I was finished with that, I was sort of like, oh, I also need to do this, this, and this. Okay, so let's go do this, this, and this. But I wasn't rushing through things like I normally do. I was just going with the flow, taking my time. And it was just to me, it was a very relaxing day because it wasn't all rush. I did do a little bit of, and I mean a little bit of sorting. It was a little bit of sorting. It was not, I don't even think I did a box. I think I did half a box today. But just as I was grabbing my water from the kitchen to come in here and do tonight's podcast, I realized, oh, it's Sunday. I got to put the trash out. But then I remembered tomorrow is a holiday, which means they won't pick up the trash tomorrow because it's Labor Day. That won't pick it up till Tuesday morning. So I actually have another 24 hours before I have to put the trash out, which is kind of cool because tomorrow I'm kind of planning on doing a lot of sorting, maybe some shredding. I might actually pull the shredder out tomorrow because I have a huge stack of shredding and just start shredding stuff because that will definitely fill up the recycling bin. I have some recycling to take out, which I'll do tonight because I have an inside container and it's a little full to overflowing. So we'll take that out tonight. But it's just been a very relaxed day. I haven't done any lessons or learning today. I've done a little bit of reading. I've just moved how the day flowed. I just went with the flow, which when you're doing the art of allowing, you go with the flow. Why do you want to do this? Do you have to do it right now? Do you really want to do it right now? Is it supposed to be done right now type of thing? So I noted down everything I did today, which sometimes I do and sometimes I don't, but I wanted it to see how much, because it felt just like a very relaxed day. So when you have the art of allowing, what it teaches you, allowing creates space for clarity, connection, and rest. And yes, I did have rest by taking time throughout the day, doing a little bit of reading here, doing a little bit of work over here, but not taking a nap, which surprised me because I'm like wide awake right now. If I don't take a nap at some point during the day, like I am like dragging right now, but I feel alive. I feel awake. I feel in the moment. Life doesn't always need to be pushed forward. Some things bloom naturally, and that's kind of when you're allowing things to happen, they naturally bloom, and you just get into your rhythm. And when you get into your rhythm was like week 3, I think it was, volume 2 or volume 3. It was somewhere back at the beginning. We did the whole week on rhythm, but it's just getting into your rhythm and just doing what comes naturally, allowing things to bloom naturally and not forcing yourself into things. Slowing down lets us notice what's unfolding around us and within us. This yesterday was a conscious decision to get it done. 1, because it was hot. 2, because it was heavy. Felt like I had a blanket on my head. I was a sheep in need of shearing. Some people will get that comment. But I will tell you this, I felt so alive and free and confident and ready to move into the next chapter of my life just from getting a haircut. Just from getting a haircut yesterday, it freed me up. So today when I woke up, I thought, our rhythm is saying we're going to stay here a little longer. So we did, just laid there and read for a couple of hours. And so like, I think I'll get up now. Okay, we'll get up. And then there was like there was subconscious decisions that were made. Were like getting up, getting dressed, all that morning routine stuff, and then sitting down for breakfast. And it was just like, oh, this is nice. What shall I do next? Nothing. Okay. And so I had my breakfast. And then when I finished my breakfast, I just got up and started doing stuff because I was in the groove of that rhythm. And I was allowing the rhythm to drive the day. Allowing is an act of self-compassion, giving yourself permission to pause. So if I wanted to pause throughout the day, I could. I wasn't rushing around like, oh my God, I got to get this done. I got to get that done. Yeah, no, there was none of that. It was just a very smooth, oh, I need to go do this. Okay, well, let's go take care of that now. And I'd come into the office and I'd take care of that. And then I'd get up and go do something else. And it's like, oh, don't we need to, what's the date? Okay, so we still need to go and do the da-da-da. So I came back here. I sat down. I did whatever next needed to be done and got that done and thought, okay, we're done with our stuff for the today. No, we weren't. Get up, go off, do other things and just follow the rhythm. And then the rhythm would suddenly go, oh, we need to go do this. And so I go and sit down and do that and do whatever the task was that my body told me we had to go do. And then when I was finished with that, it was like, I think I'll go have some lunch now. It was like 2:30 in the afternoon by the time we had lunch. That was okay. We weren't on any timetable. So we went and sat down and made a really yummy lunch. And sat down and enjoyed that while listening to my audiobook. I'm currently going through the Miss Fortune Mystery Series by Jana de Leon. Fabulous, fabulous series. I'm up to book 25, I think. I think it's book 25. Hang on. We have to go look at the list now. I'm almost finished with this book too, which means the next one comes up. It's going to be the fun one. Actually, this one's really cool because it's, yeah. Let's see. I am finishing up book 25. And then I have 3 left on the ones that have been written since. And Marsh Madness was the last one, book 28. I'm currently on book 25, but Marsh Madness was the last one that was released. And then just after that was released, unfortunately, the author's husband died unexpectedly. So all of her readers have been very gracious in giving her room to do what she needs to do before, we're not pestering her about when the next one's going to be released or anything like that. We're just allowing her the time that she needs to find her way, and she'll eventually get back to writing. I mean, she updates us every now and again about what's happening and all of that sort of stuff. And we're just all very graciously giving her the time that she needs to get the stuff done. So, but she's got 28 books in the series, and I've been listening the last 25. I've been listening to them in order for the last 5 weeks, 6 weeks. Yeah. And I'm almost done on this one. So this is book 25 and I'm almost done on this one. And I've got 3 left to read. Yeah, I was very much looking forward to this one because there's a really cool scene in there where this temporary sheriff in this little small bayou town in Louisiana tries to pin everything on the main character, and he wants a reason to arrest her and all this sort of stuff. but all the stuff that's taking place while she's staying in one place, fully in his view at the time. But he figures out that there's a way that she's tied up with all of this. But yeah, no. So anyway, so I got to do that, and then I finished up lunch and went, oh, I need to go do this. And so I came in here and sat down so I wasn't sitting at the computer all day. I was up and moving around a lot of the time. And the only thing I have left on my list to do is my newsletter. So I'll do that immediately after this, and then I'm going to go back and do a binge on The Repair Shop. It's a British program where people bring in things like furniture, clocks, watches, ceramics that have all been damaged in some way or have stopped working for whatever reason. They bring them into the repair shop, and you get to see the repairs getting done on them. You get to learn the history of the piece. You get to see some of the little nice touches that the experts will put in. It's a really cool, it's a 30-minute show, and it is really, really cool. And what cracked me up the other day is that they were doing this Davenport, which is a writing desk named after some guy Davenport. Sorry, I can't remember his name. And these burglars at one point had damaged it. So on one side of the Davenport, there were like drawers, actual physical drawers that open and closed. And on the other side were fake drawers. And what they'd done on the fake drawers, they drilled out the locks on these fake drawers and basically just sliced it down the middle where these locks were and done this big damage to it in an effort to try and get in there before they realized that they weren't drawers, they were fake. And they did some damage on one of the drawers on the other side. And so the guy that did was doing the work on it, he did an incredible job, amazing job. And so at one point he had all the filler in there and all that, but he had the pressure from the clamps on either side of the thing and coming down to make sure everything stayed in alignment. But he didn't have anything down the middle where he could put the pressure on to keep the drawer pieces, the fake drawer pieces, from popping up this way. So he needed something to keep them there. And he had a piece of wood to put over there, but he had no way to secure it. And he was talking about needing a deep-throated, this sounds really weird, a deep-throated clamp, but he didn't have one. And so the guy who runs the repair shop says, oh, hang on. He says, I've got something for that. And he goes, and he pulls out this great big long strap that has the little handle thingy on where you pull the strap through and you're up and down the handle so it tightens up the strap. And he called it a thingamajig. Well, that just sent me off. And I sent a text to my dad to tell him about the thingamajig and what it was and all that. And I said, but from what I had sent this T-shirt to my dad years ago, and I'm trying to see if I can find another one again, that had like screws and screwdrivers and spanners. It had a collection of tools on there, and they were labeled with whatchamacallit and thingamajig and thingamabob, and they all had these different names. And I says, but I don't recall the thingamajig looking like a green strap with one of those lever handle thingies on it. I don't even know what the thing's for. I am terrible with names on that sort of stuff. So we kind of went backwards and forwards about that a little bit. And he says, I thought that was actually called a whatchamacallit, not a thingamajig. I says, no, that wasn't the whatchamacallit. The whatchamacallit was something else. From what I recall from the T-shirt, the whatchamacallit was something else. It wasn't a strap with a handle thingy on it that makes everything tight. But anyway, they ended up using that on that. And it was really funny because they then the guy who does the commentary then comes back in and says, and then they removed Jay's thingamajig. So even they were calling it a thingamajig. It was hilarious. But yeah, so I might go watch that after I've done the newsletter. Hang on, where are we? What happens when we release the need to control every outcome? You honor your capacity instead of forcing productivity. It is so freeing. When you don't have time constraints on you to do stuff, you get into your rhythm and it gets done as it gets done. You notice beauty and meaning in the present rather than chasing the next thing. I come in here, oh, I need to go pay those bills. Okay, go pay the bills. Then I get up and go wander off and do something else. And it's like, oh, you need to send out the invoices because it's the last day of the month. You need to see the invoices. I come back and I do the invoices, and then I get up and go do something else. So I didn't sit at the computer and just muck around on the computer. I actually stayed off Ancestry today, which, I haven't done that for a while. Stayed off Ancestry, but got that done. You notice beauty and meaning in the present rather than chasing the next thing. You begin trusting the timing of your own life. It was a very freeing, I have to say, it was a very freeing day. It was, yes, I had stuff to do. And I thought, well, maybe I could go out and do this or that. And I'm sort of like, why do I want to go out and do that? when I can stay at home and do this? And so there's that sort of thing too of working out, do I really want to go out? No. Let's stay at home and do it this way. So, let's stay home and do this instead. I kept trying to find ways to go out and say, oh, maybe I'll go out and get lunch tea. And it's sort of like, why? You just did shopping yesterday. You have all this food in your refrigerator now, and you know how you like to create things. It's like, oh yeah, let's go do that instead. So I was sort of like, let's go out and do this. Or maybe we should go buy an ice cream. Well, you've got ice cream in your freezer. If you want to make it up something special, you have those little brownie bite thingies that you could chop up and throw in with the ice cream. And then we could put it into the blender and blend it up. And you can throw some protein powder in there and put some heavy whipping cream in there, put some almond milk in there and make it like a smoothie thing, or, aerate it and all that sort of thing, put it into a container and freeze it. And now you've got a new ice cream. So like, oh, that sounds really good. But I really want an ice cream in a cone. Well, you had the opportunity yesterday to buy that ice cream cones because you stood there in the supermarket and you looked at them and then went, no, I don't need those. So that was your fault for doing that yesterday. You're just going to have to use your sundae dish. I've got these sundae glasses. I've got the long ones that you make like banana splits on, and I had some bananas. So I could have done that too. And I also have the tall ones, the sundae glasses. And so I ended up creating one in the sundae glasses. I tell you, it was just a very interesting day. How we carry forward as we create rooms in your day for rest and reflection without guilt. Yes, did lots of that today. It was awesome. Practice being present even when life feels uncertain. Choose curiosity over control when challenges arise. I had no challenges arising today, so that was awesome. Allow yourself to grow at the pace your soul needs. Yes, most definitely. For the legacy connection, allowing teachers, future generations, the value of presence over perfection and rest over restlessness, over relentless strive. Sorry. Let me try that one again. Allowing teachers, future generations, the value of presence over perfection and rest over relentless striving. And we have 4 reflection questions for you tonight. That was another thing I had to come sit down and do. It was set up tonight's thing. And then I also did a very brief, sometimes when I get into a brainstorming session with ChatGPT, we go very, very deep. And this time it was like we'd already done the depth. And now I had a couple of questions. And so I went in and got those couple of questions answered. And I was like, do I need to go any further with this? And I looked and went, no, we're done. And I think it was like about 15 minutes I spent doing that and got up and I sent a message off to my collaboration partner, about what I had done. And then got up and left the computer alone for a while. So here are your reflection questions for today. Where in your life are you being invited to soften and allow? Think about that. What happens when you pause and let go of control? Amazing things. Amazing things. A lot of stress just flows away. That's what I found today anyway. It was a very stress-free day. I didn't feel like I was constrained in any way, like I had to. There were things I have to do today, but I didn't feel pressured to do them. And I just went with my body's rhythm on when they got done. As long as they got done today, we're good. Even paid my rent, which isn't due till tomorrow, but I paid it today anyway. How do you recognize when it's time to rest rather than push forward? Your body will tell you. If you are listening to the rhythm of your body, it will tell you. But you have to figure that one out for yourself. What would embracing the art of allowing look like for you this week? There's a good question to keep you going. And our closing thought for the evening is sometimes the deepest courage comes not from doing, but from allowing yourself to simply be. And with that, we are out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. Hei konara.